Good morning, stampers and crafters. Welcome to Tina's Crafty Ink Spot. Today, I've had several requests. I had created basically a stained glass looking dragonfly with the new Dragonfly garden set, which also has a coordinating punch. And so I wanted to put together a quick tutorial on how I create this. Let me see if I can put a piece of white behind it. And it comes out with the dragonfly looking like stained glass. And it's a lot simpler than it seems, so I wanted to show you how to do that. And what we'll do is we'll make this little pop-up calendar. And so when the calendar is popped up on somebody's desk, the dragonfly is going to be like stained glass as the light goes through it. So it's kind of fun, and I wanted to show you how I was able to do that. This particular one, I stamped my image. Today we'll use a DSP just to kind of keep it short and simple and just kind of focus on the dragonfly window there. So this is one of the calendars that I created. It's that time of year. You know, for New Year's, you're doing calendars for people. My family counts on them every year. So I made a couple of them. This one's a little stand-up calendar, and it also holds, you know, a little notepad and a pencil if you need it to. And I used the dragonfly there on that one. And don't you just love that saying for this? That comes from, I know I have that set out. Let me grab it. It's called Ridiculously Awesome. And I just love this set. So then on the back side of it, I did the You Got This. But, so anyway, I will have all of these on the blog post, the measurements. And what I've done is I've created PDFs for you, how to create the easel template, which is the one we're doing today, but we're going to modify it a little bit with a window, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We've got the tall calendar note template, which is this one, so it's tall. And I've also done a small calendar note template, which is just a small easel, about half the size of the tall, and it still has the little box to hold your notepads and pencil. And let's see, did I have another one here? Nope, that's it. So we've got 4 different ones. Oh, I also did the template for the regular magnetic that you would do on your refrigerator. So it's just real simple little magnetic, and with the white background of your refrigerator you have a stained glass dragonfly. So this one's really simple. I'll go over some tips on this one for you, but takes no time at all. Now for the supplies of these, I will have it all in the description below. So on this first one, we're going to start out, and I've had to cut down on time. I've already cut these. You're going to do your regular 4 1/4 by 11, okay? Folded at 5 1/2, and then you'll see the measurements. You're going to score at 2 3/4. So that actually gives you your stand, okay? And then you have your regular stand there. We're going to do this with DSP. I have another piece of, I've already lost it. And we have a runner. There's a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. I may have to cut one real quick, because it is a runner. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to bring in our cutter, and what I want is a base for my designer paper here. Well, I'm just really not coordinated here this morning. I'm going to bring in our cutter here, and I want this to be 4 1/4, and I'm going to do the regular 5 1/2. So let's do our 4 1/4 already there. Let's do 5.5. Okay then, so let's get rolling here. So now, to create this window, let's go ahead and do that first. So you have your easel here, okay, and this is where this is going to set. So what I would do is either take a sticky note that you can use to keep these together before you run them through the die cut machine, or you can use a Dotto removable adhesive, okay, which is probably what I'm going to do, because we need to have a back on the back of our window sheet, so we want to cut this small piece at the same time so that it'll evenly match up. So what I have is I have our card base, which is actually our mechanism. I have our base sheet, our designer paper, and I also have a 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 piece that is going to seal in the window. Okay. Now normally, if you did like this one where I added ribbon, you would wait to attach your paper to your main piece, because that way your ribbon doesn't show through on the back side. But I'm not going to use ribbon on that one. So what I can do is I can go ahead and attach my designer paper right to my... I love this Dragonfly paper. Oh, I think it's called just Dragonfly Garden, and it's 6x6 DSP. It is so cool. I'm going to have to order some more. I've been using the heck out of it. Okay, so let's attach this. Use your favorite adhesive here. You can use tape or glue. I'm a glue girl, so that way I can line it up. Okay, so now this has to be open because you don't want to cut through your backside. Okay. And now we're going to bring in our layering circles. Now your Dragonfly sheet, your window sheet, has to be just a little bit bigger than the hole you cut here. Okay, so that it'll sandwich in there. So I'm going to take this die, which is big enough for our Dragonfly image, and I'm going to take the die that is just one size larger, just barely. It's just bare, and that's all you need. Okay, so we're going to keep the larger one aside, and let's lay the scrap piece, our backing piece. We want to lay that right up square with the seam there. And all I'm going to do is put a little bit of this Dotto on there and get it to... It's a new machine, apparently. There it goes. There it goes. It's just got real fine little dots. It's easy to remove with your eraser. So let's go ahead and line that up right on the fold. And we're going to do the same thing here with our Dotto. Just needs a little bit to hold it in place while we run it through the machine. Okay, so now when this stands up, I want my circle here, okay? And it's okay if it goes over the fold there because we're going to have a backing there. So let's go ahead and set this here. We got our Dotto to hold it. And I'm going to take, remember this is the smaller of the two circles. Okay, and we're going to end up cutting them all at once, but remember to leave your card open. Okay, we only need to go down a little ways. Let me run this through my machine. I'm still waiting on my mini stamp and cut machine, which will make doing these videos really easy. I hope. I'm hoping I can use my hand. Hopefully it's nice and smooth using, or smooth use. Easy to turn, I guess would be the word. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my machine. Okay, so we ran it through with the card open, remember? And don't lose your little piece of designer paper there, because we're going to use that on the inside. And I got ink or something on there. I'll have to use my little ink eraser. I don't know what I did there. I'm going to gently pull that off. Oh, it looks like it had a little bit of trouble, because now I should have ran it through there twice, but that's okay. I think I can get it here. You get to do the mistakes right along with me today. It's one of those days. Okay, let me grab my scissors here real quick, see if I can. I should have ran it through twice. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, there we go. I'll show you a little trick for that. I don't know if you've seen these. They are sanding erasers, and they will actually get that off there. But we can work on that right after. But anyway, these are little, they're made by Mono, and they're sanding erasers. They'll get something like that off. Okay, so we have our little back piece, don't forget. So let's put all of this, and we're going to get our Dragonfly done so that it can dry while we're assembling this. So I'm going to put that back. And hopefully I did this right. Find out here in a minute. Oh. Okay, so let's get our Dragonfly. Okay, we have regular window sheet. And make sure it's a big enough piece for your larger circle. Okay, make sure it's going to be big enough for that. It is. Because remember, this one's got to be a little bit larger than the circle you cut in the card. So now you're going to be using Stays-On for this. And sometimes Stays-On is kind of sticky when it deals with window sheets. So make sure you've got your magnets set up well. So let's line up our Dragonfly. And if you're worried about being able to cut it with the Dragonfly on there, you can also cut the circle first and then put the Dragonfly on there. Either way. As a matter of fact, let's do it that way, because that way I know I'm going to get my Dragonfly centered where I need it. So I'm going to take the larger circle and I'm going to cut a piece of window sheet. Run that through the machine real quick. Okay, so we have our window sheet. Kind of hard for you to see, huh? So I'm gonna hold that down with the magnets, line up my Dragonfly. Hopefully I didn't just put my head in the camera. Sorry, you guys. It's early. Look, my husband got me a new glove. It's more skin toned, so I was worried about it bothering people. I had a couple people comment. But after my last video, the love and support of you guys understanding I need this glove to be able to get my hand to work, I am so appreciative. Thank you so much for all the kind comments. I really appreciate it. So we're going to make sure this is... Oh, I missed a little, so I'm going to... A good thing about having a stamparatus, you can push it back down. Alright, we've got a little part of the wing I must have not inked. And hopefully it didn't move too much, so let's see. Oh, looky there, he's perfect. Okay, let him dry a little bit there. Set this aside. Make sure you clean your stays-on off your stamps. On the rubber stamps, I'm not sure if we still have it in the store. We have a really good stamp cleaner that gets stays-on off. Okay, so now we got our dragonfly. And what we want to do is we want to make sure he's nice and dry. I think I have a dry one over here I can replace. Oh, it's not cut out yet. Let's cut him out, because I know for sure he's dry. So we're going to run it through the machine. Okay, so on your dragonfly, to get the stained glass effect that I was using, you want to color on the opposite side that you stamped. The reason being is we're going to be using alcohol markers, the blends. And believe it or not, if you color over the stays-on with the blends, it can remove the stays-on. So if you put your image, got a little bit of dust on it, if you put your image in the light the right way, you can, if you can't remember where you stamped, you can actually kind of see where you stamped. So we're going to color on the opposite side. And what I'm using is I'm using the bronze marker, the dark seaside, and the dark night of navy. And believe it or not, these aren't as dark on the window sheet as you would think. So I'm just going to lightly color his body. This is the night of navy. And I'm going to go about halfway on his body there, because I want to add some browns in there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little for you. Let's see if we can zoom in. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of blue tint just along the top edges of his wings. Now it takes these alcohol markers just a couple minutes to dry, so kind of be careful. And just go down the line a little bit. You just want kind of a shadow effect of this blue. Okay. So now I'm going to take the brown and I'm going to do his head and blend it in to the blue on the body. It doesn't look like it's showing up, but it is. And you can kind of dab your marker if you want some dark and light highlights. So I'm going to take my blue again and blend it into that brown a little bit. And then let's use the fine tip. Right on the body of his tail, right at the line marks, just take your marker and put a dot right on the line. And believe it or not, that's going to make it look round when you flip it over. Okay, so now I'm going to take this dark seaside spray and I'm lightly going to blend that blue. And believe it or not, it's going to blend a little bit on the window sheet. And it's just going to get rid of those harsh edges of the marker. And when you add the glitter to this, believe it or not, it really is pretty. Now that's how you clean off your marker. All you do is wipe your tip like that if you've blended it. Okay, so we've actually got, that's the whole thing. Literally, that is all the coloring you're going to do on this little guy. Okay, now we're still on the side that we're coloring. And there's two things you can do. You can use your shimmery crystal effects, which is what I'm going to use. If you don't have shimmery crystal, wow, say that fast 3 times, shimmery crystal effects, and maybe you have your old crystal effects, or if you have some clear glue, you can use that, and your dazzling diamonds. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shimmery crystal effects, and I'm only going to do the wings. And oops, as I blurt a piece right out on there. And all I'm going to do is put a really, really thin coat. Just kind of put a dot there, and then just spread it around. A little goes a really long way. And all I'm doing is the wings. So let's do all our wings. Just a really thin coat. Kind of spread it around there. And it's not, it might move your alcohol ink just a little bit, which is okay. It's just going to kind of blend it, but if your ink isn't quite dry, it might smear it a little, which is fine. Okay, so we got his wings. It's kind of hard to see because you're on window sheet. And if you want more shimmer or glitter, let me show you what it looks like. And until it dries, I'm going to flip that over. Let me grab a piece of white and show you what he looks like. And you can see the shimmer of his wings. I hope the camera's focusing on it. And if you want, you can even take your dazzling diamonds, and I have mine in this tiny little pin bottle, and you can kind of just squeeze it a little and it spritzes out diamonds. And the other good thing about doing that, of adding a little extra glitter, is it dries your glue faster. So I'm just going to tap that off. And looky there. Look at our beautiful dragonfly. Okay. So we're going to set him aside to dry. I'm going to try to move him where I'm not going to lose him. And remember where your glue is, so dry it the right side up. When I first did these, I did for a card swap, and I did, half a dozen of them, and I didn't realize that I had flipped them over. They were all glued to the paper, so I had to redo it. So I got really good at doing the dragonflies. Okay, let's bring in our papers. Okay, so now this is our backup piece that is going to seal in our window. But we want to put our designer paper on the inside, okay? So that when you open the card, it's going to match. So the easiest way to do that is line up your top piece with your die cuts there. And that way you can see where your image goes, okay? So we're going to line this guy up. Let's figure out where he goes here. Okay, it goes about there. So leave that there. I would suggest using glue for this because you can move it a little once you lay it down. Hopefully I didn't just do that wrong. Oh, I kind of did. I didn't need this other little piece. So we're actually using just the designer paper. Sorry. Again, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, we're going to add a little glue. Then we're going to make sure it's lined up, which isn't too hard with this one because I've got a dragonfly wing right there I can line up. Okay, then we just remove this, open it, and the inside of your card's going to be perfectly lined up. I've got a little spot here that I need to trim. Remember where the die cut didn't cut all the way through? I just need to trim that a little bit. There we go. Done. Done. So now you've got this piece, but we don't want to put that on just quite yet, because I'll show you why. Because part of your frame, let's see if our frame is going to overlap there. Oh, we're good. So we can put it on there. Okay? But we want our window on there. Let's see if he's dry. I should have did one and had him dried and ready. Oh, sorry, you hear my dog in the background. I'm sorry. Okay, so now this is the front of your card. You want the glue of your dragonfly on the back side, on the inside of your card. Make sure that's dry. Okay, it's a little bit tacky, but that's okay. So I'm going to take glue dots. Oh, I can't tear that. So let's take a glue dot and put right at the edge of your circle. And let's put 4 of them on, just to make sure your window sheet stays where it needs to stay. Okay, now remember your glue side is coming this way. You can kind of feel it. And I want to figure out how I want him facing, and I kind of want him at a little bit of an angle. Okay, so let's do that. Got our glue right here is on this side, and we're going to square it up in the hole here. And see, that actually holds it into place, but we're going to use the extra piece we had, and make sure you do it the right way. So let's go ahead and we're going to use this to glue it in. You can use tape here. Just make sure you get around the edge to make sure your dragonfly is secured in the window sheet. So I'm just going to line that up. Check it from the front side. So it not only gives you a finished edge, but it also secures your dragonfly in there. Okay, and now let's add our glue just to the bottom piece that's folded. Okay, so we're just going to add the glue there. Line up. It's kind of easier if you fold it closed and line up your front sheet. And you can see it lined up with your image on the inside. And look at that. Looky there. And then when it's closed, he's over the image. Okay. And now you can do this without a calendar if you want. All you want is either a greeting or an image or something that you can pop up. Do it with a dimensional, and that way when the card is open, it'll stay in place. But all we're going to do is add a little calendar there. If I wanted, I could add some different, background color, but I don't think it needs it. And I've got these little calendars I got these from Tailored Expressions. I think you get like 10 of them for maybe $3.50, maybe, if that much. But that's where I get them. And I will try to put a link to these on the blog post. So I'm just going to add some glue to the back side. These have a hard piece there. And we'll bring up our easel. And let's just square that right in there. And there you go. Look at that. But what's really fun is when it's open, the dragonfly image is like a regular window where the lights and the colors come through the dragonfly. It's really, and you can fold these and they mail just like normal. Now I was going to give you a tip. That's it. You could, and then decorate the front, add your greeting. For this one, I would probably add the greeting that comes with the dragonfly set, and it's "May good things grow all year long." And that's kind of appropriate for a candle, or I mean a calendar, right? There you go. So do any embellishments and decorations you want there. Now, we did basically the same thing with the refrigerator calendar. And to give this some sturdiness, you normally have to use chipboard. But I'm going to show you a trick that you don't ever have to buy chipboard. Because on the back side, when you order your designer paper, it always has the sheet that comes with it, the firm sheet, even on your 12 by 12s. Let me see where mine's at. Hopefully I didn't use it already. But use the description sheet that comes in these. Let me see if I can find one. I think I used that one. Let me see if this one's still got the chipboard in it. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But the sheet that comes with either your large 12 by 12s or with your 6 by 6s that has the description of the paper, that's the thickness of a chipboard. So you could just use that instead of buying chipboard. Or if you have the thick Whisper White, maybe do a double layer of that. But that's just a quick way. Don't go out and spend money on chipboard. Now, this one I didn't do a greeting. I could. We've got all the greetings from this. That's how I store them. We have that new stamp set that's got all the greetings in it. It's absolutely amazing. And as soon as I find it here on my space, I'll show you what it is. It is called Many Messages. And so you've got all these fabulous greetings and a die to cut them all out. So what I did was I stamped these a couple times. Some of them in black, I embossed. Some of them in white. And then I found this, I think you find them at the craft store. It's like a bead case. And then I just put all my little greetings in there. I think somebody on one of the websites I saw used an old tackle box to save all their greetings. And I thought, well, that's a great idea. But that is it. That is today's technique, is this stained glass dragonfly and an easel calendar. So don't forget, in the bottom I will have PDFs to how to make and all the measurements to at least 4 calendars, 4 different types. So you'll have those. And here I did the dragonfly on the window sheet and then just punched it out. Isn't he pretty? You could do it on vellum too. I sure would look the same, but it wouldn't show as much of the glitter. So there you go. That's today's technique. A stained glass dragonfly and some calendars. I hope you have a fabulous Stampin' Day. Bye-bye now.